Good morning and welcome to the tranquil but yet graffiti filled Camden Canal. Now I'm in Camden Town in London, and by the way, happy January. I guess it's too late for Happy New Year if I haven't spoken to you since then. So it's a crisp cold day, hence the terrible but warm headgear, so forgive the fashion offences. So Camden's an interesting place. Camden Town is somewhere that has a bit of resonance for amazing FBAers because this is where we've held the 10K Collective Mastermind for a period from most of 2018 actually. So we started off at the end of 2017 somewhere else, and then I had to move, and now because of expanding numbers, we've actually found ourselves a venue in the city of London. So this is a place that has a certain resonance, and it's quite interesting. I think it has a certain what's the word? It's quite a good metaphor for Amazon in some ways, because Camden Town, for those who don't know it, is a mixture of, as you can see, quite rough and even quite sort of druggy, as you can see from the graffiti around, but actually also there's quite a lot of wealthy people here. I've just been doing one of the very few bits of music work that I still do because I enjoy it, and my wife kind of asked me, and when the wife asks, one does. As a wise husband, I'm new to the business of being a husband, but even I can recognise that that's the wise way to do it. Anyway, so I've just been teaching in somebody's middle class house that's probably worth, £2 or £3 million, and yet it's also full of quite a lot of drug issues, and there's a lot of graffiti, as you can see here. This is absolutely Graffitiville on the one hand, and on the other hand, lovely canal, which is full of people with canal boats, which generally quite a middle class hobby these days. So it's quite a mixed place, and it's kind of a place for everyone in a sense, and I think Amazon has a lot of that. On the one hand, it's got a lot of quite wealthy consumers that want instant gratification. On the other hand, there's a lot of, if you like, graffiti from the Chinese sellers messing the place up with fake reviews and hundreds of accounts that are fake and things like that. So yeah, Amazon's an interesting place to be in 2019. I think because of the Chinese sellers that are, not all Chinese by the way, it's not sort of racial bias, but it's more about the big factories that have a habit of trying to scam the system, which means that the rest of us get caught up in it. So review, velocity, caps and all the rest of it. So on the other hand, there are still a lot of wealthy consumers there, as well as quite poor ones, and so who you decide to appeal to on Amazon is really a very important decision, because on Amazon the world is there now. It's something like 60%, and the percentage every time I hear about it is higher. 60% of all online product searches start on Amazon. It's just getting more and more dominant. So the world is basically there. So you've got to make a decision what kind of consumer you want, because if you don't, you're going to end up with a random mix of consumers. Here we are, number 36, the famous venue for 36 Gloucester Avenue for the 10K Collective in 2018. 2019, we're heading into the city of London. Also the £1 Million Masterminds. We're starting off with meetings in the City of London as well. It's a bit more prestigious venue, it's a little bit quicker travel connections, and we're going to start branching out into other European cities as well. So yeah, it's a bit of a walk down memory lane for me here really in Camden Town in London. Just a quick metaphor for Amazon. So 2019 Amazon, there's more graffiti, there's more noise and mess than ever, which Amazon's having to clean up. There are the wealthy consumers and there are the poor consumers. So we've got to navigate a way around Amazon's attempts to clean up by not getting caught up in the dragnet. But above all, we don't want to get distracted from the prize. If I were a real estate agent or an estate agent, as we call it in the UK, in Camden, I wouldn't be focusing on either of those things. I'd be focusing on trying to sell to the very wealthy people who want these lovely multi-million pound houses that you can see around me that are still very nice. So do not think of Amazon as one big lump of one type of consumer or one type of behavior. It is the world in miniature online, and we need to make some clear decisions of who we're after, and I would suggest you go after the people with the money, which means that you make premium products and you try and be the premium product provider in your marketplace. Now that's easily said, that's not hard to set as an objective, but to make it happen is a lot more subtle. Unfortunately, the members of the 10K Collective are achieving that, and I think that is something where I'm going to be bringing more and more of the wins and the insights that come from that group as the year progresses, because don't forget, this is a group where even in the 10K Collective Mastermind, which is people are between about 300,000 and £1 million a year online, so about $360,000 and $1.2 million, something like that per year on Amazon. 3 or 4 of the members hit over £100,000, so about $120,000 in December 2018 alone. So there are a lot of wins coming from that, and the £1 Million Mastermind, as that keeps progressing, we've got our second meeting coming up. I'll also be bringing back some wins from a group whose total turnover is probably in excess of $25 million a year, and that's being conservative. So keep tuned. We're going to be bringing lots of value to you from those groups, those insights, but just remember what you're in the business of. That Amazon is everything now. The world is online. Make sure you are clear of who you're after, and avoid getting caught in the dragnet of the Amazon cleanup of all those hacks and the black hat stuff. And the other thing I would say is, don't do too much black hat stuff. If you're going to do a tiny amount in order to get your products launched, maybe a bit of reviews from friends and family, but be very, very, very careful. And the rest of it, I would keep it squeaky clean, because this is going to be even more of the year, I think even more than 2018, where Amazon cleans up its act and you don't want to get caught in that dragnet. So a few thoughts from Camden Town on a sleepy and rather crisp and cold Sunday morning in London here in England. Thanks for listening.